What is going on, you guys? It's your Born Common Bills, and we are back with another video. Let's get into the video. Today we're going to be working on the fiberglass wide body kit that I pretty much damaged. So let's get into it. So a couple things that I'm basically going to need since I've already done this job, but if you have run into the same issue that I have run into where you buy a fiberglass wide body kit and it snaps or breaks or something chips off, then this is the video for you. So what we're going to need is a popsicle stick, some type of stick, something you can stir this junk with, a container, the resin, the hardener, fiberglass or the fiberglass cloth, whichever you choose. I decided to choose the fiberglass cloth because it actually cuts better in my opinion, and it's not so messy, and so on and so forth. And then I had an X-Acto knife. Where is it? Okay, here it goes. And the X-Acto knife. So you can either use scissors, an X-Acto knife, I don't know, a blade, a sword, however you, whatever you want to do. But the reason why I use an X-Acto knife, it makes it easier to basically cut. And I'm actually going to show you guys how simple it is. Y'all gonna have to excuse me because even though I got two hands, I got to film one and use the other to cut. But what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to open this up a little bit more. And we're basically going to cut into this box here. And so this is why I like to use the X-Acto knife. And then vice versa here. I'm going to cut across. Oh, damn, I almost lost the fender. But it's that simple and it comes right off, especially if you're trying to patch. Also, you can also use this to also build your own fiberglass wide body kit if you so choose, which I have seen some people do. But to me, it's an overall better product and it kind of sticks better. But anyway, guys, these are the tools basically that I use to basically fix this. Use this to basically stir and mix my resin and my hardener together. Now, I believe it's Advanced Auto does carry this kit for like 57 bucks. I'm sure it depends on which state you're in, but in Georgia, that's how much it cost me for that small kit. That's about $60 almost. And this is basically everything that came inside of it. Now, to get to the actual fender, well, I already started on this, as you guys know, in my last video. I started out with the, what was it? Damn, I'm drawing a blank. The super glue, and basically just put it back together like a little puzzle and then let that super glue dry so that way it still kept the shape and the form. Yeah, there's going to definitely be some discrepancies with the lineup here, but we're basically going to shave this down. We're going to use a grinder to shave this down, and then we're going to fill it. But this is basically what I did to keep the shape and to make sure I was not going to be too off-centered. And on the other side, which, let me go ahead and flip this around. Oh boy. On this other side over here, you can see where I put the fiberglass at to basically hold in that seam and some other places here and there, because it actually did tear pretty bad out of here and the screws kind of went lodged right in. And but yeah, so that's basically how I fixed that with the fiberglass cloth. I just patched it real quick. Yes, it looks ugly on the underside, but nobody's going to see that, so I don't care. But we're going to go ahead and grind the front side of this so that way I can go ahead and get the filler in, and I can go ahead and keep working on this and basically get this fitted back onto the SRT8. So that way I can get it ready for the wrap. And again, I got to make sure that this is flush. And if you're doing this, make sure it's flush, especially if you're going to wrap your car. Because if you don't, that line is going to show in like the border. I'm just telling you guys, all right? So make sure you basically flush that in, fill it in as best as you can, wet sand it as smooth as possible. Get it as smooth as you can, so that way you don't have any issues in your wrap, and that it doesn't also perform any bubbling. So let's go ahead and get to this. All right, so now we're basically going to dust this off. The microfiber towel. Get it dusted, my boy. Get it all dusted off. All right, so now we have a complete ridge in here for this entire lawn. And so we're going to basically use that bundle to basically fill this. And what it's going to do is basically fill in all of this gap space where that line was, and we should basically make that disappear, and it will be flushed and basically will be ready to be wrapped. So let's go ahead and do this filler, and we'll continue the video. Now that we have our fiberglass basically mixed, we're going to go ahead and start putting it on here in the seam. Not putting too much, but just enough to where we're basically going to cover this up, and then we're going to use the tool to basically go down in this this crease in here. But before we do that, I'm going to put some rubbing alcohol down in here to basically clean out any grease, dirt that may have been trapped from when I actually grind this down. Even though I use the microfiber cloth, I still want to make sure, or you still want to make sure, that if you're actually doing this, that you want to get this at least cleaned up a little bit too, so that way it sticks better. So there you guys have it, an easy, simple fix. And as you notice, when I put the excessive amount of Bondo on here, that was basically to try to get as filled as possible. And then I took the little spatula or scraper or whatever you want to call that, and basically got rid of all that extra residual, just so that way it wasn't too hot of a mess. And that way when I go to sand this down, it'll basically it won't be a lot of sanding. I shouldn't have to do too much sanding for this. So that is pretty much how you fix a damaged wide body fender or any fender that you may have on your car that's made out of fiberglass. I honestly would recommend, if you're going to go wide body, it needs to be ABS plastic. If you want to build it yourself and you want to use the fiberglass, by all means. But I'll just be honest with you guys. I actually hate the SRT8 wide body kit because it is made out of fiberglass instead of ABS plastic. ABS plastic is a lot more durable, and it can actually take a punch. It can actually take a little bit of abuse versus the fiberglass, and that's pretty much what I'm running into, not only with this fender, but the other wide body fender on the driver's side, which I'm also going to fix that as well. And then I also have some minor dents or damage in the front bumper that I have to address before we basically do the wrap on the SRT8, because I don't want any blemishes or anything like that. I want to make it as minor as possible, because eventually the SRT8 will be signed up for some shows, and we got to make sure she gonna look pretty, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it, guys. Working on that. I'm gonna basically do the other side and basically do the exact same thing that I did in this video. So I'm not gonna film that, But we are one step closer to basically wrapping the SRT8. And with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you know when I post another video. That's going to be it. See you on the next one. See you when I see you. Peace.